How to get crowdfunding for real estate. Crowdfunding real estate is one of the biggest secrets in real estate investing right now. And that is because so many people do not even know it exists, and those that do know it exists don't know how to do it legally. But take it from Noelle, I have raised millions of dollars through real estate crowdfunding, and I'm going to tell you exactly how you could do the exact same thing too. Let's go. So let's talk about real estate investing, because when we're talking about crowdfunding for real estate, we're talking about getting a lot of money together, pooling people. So again, small unaccredited investors, people putting in as little as $250, $500, $1,000. We pool our money together and then we buy real estate with it. And so in order for this to actually make sense for anyone to do and for you to raise lots of money and for this to be the awesome thing that it is, you have to invest in real estate, okay? You can't just buy real estate that you're gonna live in or just buy houses that you like. You're going to have to buy real estate that actually makes money, because real estate investing is really about making money. There's three main ways that you're going to be trying to make money when it comes to real estate investing. One, of course, is the rental income. So you want to garner and obtain real estate properties that are income producing. You put tenants in them, whether you put long-term tenants or short-term tenants, but you put tenants in the property so that they start making monthly revenue. The second important thing, you want to buy properties below market value. So you do not want to pay full retail for properties and over leverage them and have too much debt. You want to buy properties that you can get below market value, okay? So if the property is worth $100, you want to get it for $80,000 or $90,000 so that you have some equity in the property. And then you want to buy properties that are in appreciating areas, okay? So this is the key, and this is the three things that I do. I buy properties or I fix and flip properties that are in areas that are going up in value so that every few years when I sell the property, I can make money. And this is the way that I combine all three of these things, where I have income coming in each month, I have properties that have equity in them, and I have properties that I can sell off and get large lump sums of cash. This is what you can do all with other people's money now. This is what I did with just my own money. And now let me tell you how you can do this with other people's money through crowdfunding. So as you know, real estate investing is still the #1 way to wealth. If you have not heard this stat before, it is true. 89% of all millionaires were created so through real estate, okay? This is a quote from Andrew Carnegie from over 100 years ago, okay? So it was true 100 years ago and it's still true to this day. And so this is actually how I became a certified millionaire, through real estate investing. And so how I became a certified millionaire through real estate was through 2 or 3 different ways. So of course, when you say certified millionaire, your accountant kind of looks through what the income that you made, or looks through your assets versus your liabilities, and they will basically tell you like, wow, you made it to millionaire status. And so there's 3 different ways. One is you could have $1 million cash, okay? Now, I don't have $1 million cash. That is not what I'm telling you, that I'm certified with $1 million in cash. In fact, I don't think I ever want to have $1 million in cash, just because that's probably not the best thing to do with money, is just hoard it. The second way to become a millionaire, though, that most people, and how I initially became a millionaire, was I had my assets minus the liabilities, okay, the houses minus the mortgages that were on them, totaled more than $1 million in equity. So just really quickly, say you had 10 houses, you bought them all for $100,000 and you had a $100,000 mortgage on them, but they were worth $200,000, so you had $100,000 worth of equity times 10 properties, you would be a certified millionaire. So basically your accountant would take the value, your assets, minus out the liabilities, and that would determine your net worth, okay? That's just your net worth. Again, doesn't mean you have that money in your bank account, but you do have that as your personal net worth, and you know that you can leverage those assets to get $1 million, okay? And then last but not least, the third way is to make $1 million per year. And I'll be honest with you, I thought this was the craziest, hardest thing to do, even though I made 6 figures when I was saying I wanted to be a millionaire. I just couldn't see how I could get to $83,000, $84,000 per month every single month. Now, I've long passed that goal, and I see how you can get that done. Obviously, it's going to be through multiple streams of income if you're smart, so that if one revenue stream stops, you have another revenue stream that picks right up. And so this is how you will do it, and this is some of the potential and the possibility that exists with real estate. So let's get into the next part, because this is the part just for you. So with real estate, once I kind of started doing real estate and I went from having, working full time and having rental properties to being a full-time entrepreneur, I was able to amass over 40 rental properties, okay? And it was enough to cover my salary, cover my husband's salary, and I was like living free and clear. I thought there was nothing better than that. So I started teaching and getting into mentorship and coaching people on real estate and teaching them some of the stuff that I do, and just kind of picked that up as a fun thing that I did. But then I was starting to realize that all of them, I was doing all of these joint ventures. So I had all of these students, and every time we saw a property or we saw a house, we would have to do a joint venture. We would have to create a contract between the two of us. I would decide if I was putting up the money, if they were putting up the money, if I was renovating, if I was paying for the renovation. It was basically one by one by one. And so as the program grew, as my popularity grew, I realized it was just not sustainable trying to do all of these joint ventures. So along comes crowdfunding. And it was this opportunity where I could go to the Security and Exchange Commission, the SEC, they could vet my fund. And what I could do is I could pool all of our money together and use my expertise and my team of people that I have in my company to buy properties below market value, to fix them up and start making money, and then share the profits with all of my investors. So this is the basic strategy behind crowdfunds, okay? And it's simple, but the great thing about it now is we used to have to do this old school. Like I said, I was getting joint ventures, we were pooling our money together, but now you can go to sites like TrueCrowd, Start Engine, GoFundMe, and you can create your own crowdfunds and people can invest in them. So if you wanna go ahead and look into NewRez, that is our company, NUUREZ.com. It's a company that I created in just February of this year is when we officially launched the company. We've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars and we've already started buying apartments and putting them on Airbnb and making money off of those properties, and also our corporate clients. We have some corporate contracts. Like the business has just grown exponentially even after all of the pandemic and stuff that we had. So it is an amazing opportunity where people that don't have the time or the expertise to invest in real estate can put in just a little bit of money and start making money on real estate. And this is the opportunity that you have in front of you. Again, you can either invest in NewRez and see how it works from that perspective, or I'll tell you how to get your own real estate crowdfund. You can do either. It's okay. If you want your own crowdfund, you can have your own crowdfund. One, you can go to TrueCrowd. Again, I'm not being paid for this. This is completely free. You can go and you can check out TrueCrowd.com for free. And you can even get your own crowdfund for real estate using this website. It is the process that I use and that I followed. And the only thing that you need to make sure that you do, and I'm going to tell you the biggest mistake that I made. So I was on Shark Tank a few years ago and I had applied several times to be on Shark Tank, and I actually got almost onto the show. But lo and behold, as I was successful, I actually came across one of the original sharks from Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington. And he actually endorsed this company that I have now, NewRez. He's, big into it. He loves what we're doing. He saw it as super profitable. And I was just so happy that someone from Shark Tank saw my idea and thought that this was successful, because again, I had tried to be on Shark Tank and I just wanted almost that validation. But I ended up spending and giving equity in my business, and I should not have, okay? In order to raise money for crowdfunds, you do not need a celebrity, you don't need a special endorsement, you don't need Noel, you don't need any of those things. You really just need to know what it is that you're going to do with the money and how you're going to make your investors money. That is the key to this. And that was the thing of why we've raised so much money. It was not because I had the endorsement of a Shark Tank guy or because I was on a show or any of that thing or any of that type of stuff. What has allowed me to raise so much money and why people are interested and why people love real estate crowdfunds is because it's an easy way to start investing in real estate. You only need a little bit of money and you start getting money after only 3 or 4 months. We do quarterly distributions with our crowdfund. And so you can copy the exact same thing that I did and create your own. Again, go right to TrueCrowd.com and see my company, NewRez Inc. And you can see everything that we're doing, how we did it. Or you can invest a little bit of money and see it for sure. You can come to our meetings. We have investor-only meetings. We have ways for you to get money by referring investors to us, by referring properties to us. So we've made it so easy for you to make money with our company that I want you to do the exact same thing. I want you to invest, and I want you to start your own crowdfund, because it is an amazing, untapped, secret way to invest in real estate. And it's a lot easier and simpler than you think. And it's an easy way to get started in a year and have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, like we have, already ready for our real estate business. So go ahead and make sure you smash that like button if you're enjoying all of this information, all of this content that I'm bringing you today. Please also make sure that you go ahead and check out 𝗎𝟏 and see what we're doing. For as little as $500, people are investing and again, getting quarterly distributions. I have students that have gotten thousands of dollars just for referring us properties. I have students that are getting money for referring us investors, and they are learning so much. We have investor-only meetings where we show you our properties, how we got them, how much we paid for them, how much money they're making. We basically just pull the curtain back and tell you everything that we're doing so that you can learn and do it too. This is Noelle, to your success.